Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Janay. So first off, I'm going to start by saying I've tried to record this video like 6 times and it has been a struggle because London keeps crying and I keep getting interrupted, but hopefully this is the last time I have to record it. So let's just get started. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery experience. I had my daughter almost 3 weeks ago, so I had her on January 5th at 3:32 p.m. And sorry if you guys hear like a little noise. I'm not sure if you'll hear it or not, but it's like her little swing going back and forth, so hopefully that's not distracting at all. Okay, so yeah, so basically I had her about a week after my due date. My doctor let me go to 41 weeks only because he wanted me to have her naturally. He didn't really want me to get induced because so I'm not the greatest at like exams, so he told me that getting induced may be a little uncomfortable for me, but I ended up having to do that anyway, so it was all fine. So on January 4th, which is a day before I was supposed to get induced, I started spotting a little bit. So I called the doctor and they told me, you know, it's okay, but if I spot again. So I started spotting again, and this time it was a little brighter, so I called them again and they were like, yeah, just come on into the hospital. So that was around like 6:30 p.m. that Saturday, January 4th. So me and Jason went to the hospital and they checked me. I hadn't dilated at all, but they still admitted me in that night. So earlier that morning, I was talking to my cousin Curlin, and I'm so happy that I did because she was saying that when she got induced, honestly, do I still have the messages? Let me see what she said. Oh, so yeah, my cousin, she was telling me that she doesn't recommend the string they use because it burns, or like it burned her. So I kept that in mind, and she also said that the little balloon they want to put in you is uncomfortable. So I kept that in mind too. So yeah, once they admitted me, they were like, okay, we're gonna do the string for, you know, induction. I was like, oh, you know, I talked to my cousin earlier. Is there any way I can do something else so like it's not painful for me? London. And she was like, we can do a pill every 4 hours. And I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. That sounds super easy compared to like a string being in me or a little balloon. So I went with the pill. I forgot what it was called. If I can think of it or find it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. So they moved me to a room. I took the pill and it started working immediately. So I was having contractions. They weren't really bad at first. And I was telling Jason, I was like, okay, I feel it. You know, it's not too bad. And then like 10 minutes later, like 5 minutes later really, they were hurting really, really bad. Like, bless you. So it was like a hill. So it's like I would feel it coming and it would get stronger and stronger and stronger. And it would hurt really, really bad. And then it would come down, but you know, you would still feel it. So it would come down. And I'm like, okay. So that would happen like every couple of minutes. And I don't ever want to feel that again. Like, y'all, it hurt so bad that I felt like I had to use the bathroom after every contraction, and I also threw up 4 different times. So it was a lot on me. So finally, I think around like 12 or 1, I was able to get the epidural. So I got that. That process, it wasn't that bad. I can take needles. Like, I'm not bad about needles. Obviously, I have so many tattoos, so I'm good on needles. That happened and I felt amazing. Like, I didn't feel anything. When the nurse told me that I had a contraction, I was like, okay, cool. I didn't even feel it. Like, I was just like good, you know? So it's crazy that that pill actually worked so well for me because, like I said, I was supposed to take that pill every 4 hours to, you know, get me going, and it only took 1 pill to get me going. So that was good. So basically I went from 2 centimeters to 6 to 8. So by 7 a.m. I was at 8 centimeters, and then, you know, family came and all that. And it was like to the point where we were like guessing times of like when she would come. So the nurse was saying like, oh, I think she'll come at 9:52. Jason was saying like 10:30. I was saying like 10:05. And like we were like all excited thinking like she'll be here in like a couple hours basically. So 9:52, 10:05, 10:30, they all came and went. And now it's like, you know, past that time, and we're like, okay, she's still not here. So basically, like, they're flipping me from like side to side. They're adding more Pitocin into like my little IV thing. and nothing's really happening. So basically what happened was I was stuck at 8 centimeters from like 7 a.m. until I had her. So around 3, they came in and was like, you know, because you're not really making progress, we gotta do a C-section. And I really wasn't expecting to hear that. Like, that was never like a thought in my mind. Like, I just never thought about a C-section. So when they told me that, I started crying a little bit because not that anything's wrong with that, but like I said, it never crossed my mind. So yeah, I started crying, and then I started like shaking really, really bad. Like, it started off slow, then it got stronger, and I thought it was just nerves. Maybe it is just nerves, I don't know. Yeah, they took me into the room, and of course I was awake. Jason was behind me while it was happening, and I was just like stretched out, arms like this. And by now, I'm like shaking uncontrollably. Like, I'm like, I don't know, I can't describe it. Like, I was just like shaking, and my jaw was like locked. So my jaw hurt so bad. It just felt so tight. And I don't know like what that was about, but like my mouth just hurt so bad. And it's crazy because like after I had her, I've been seeing like a little thing go around on Facebook saying like having the shakes before a C-section. I was like, okay, so I guess that happens to a lot of people. So I guess it was pretty normal, but at the time I didn't know what was going on. So so yeah, I'm laying back, I'm shaking. Jason's like behind me. It feels like they're cutting like up my stomach, but I guess I was just tripping, or like that was just the pressure. But of course it was like down below my tummy. So the actual C-section wasn't bad. Like, they got her out really quick. I was crying, my eyes were closed. I didn't even know like they were gonna show her to me. So like they brung her up to me, like above me, and they were like, "Oh, the baby's here." And like by the time I opened my eyes, she was gone. So I was like, "Okay, like whatever." So yeah, getting her out was really fast. It was just like sewing me back up. Took a little while, and I was getting like antsy. I was asking the nurse, I was like, you know, how long is it going to take? Because I was like really tired of laying there. I was still shaking. I was just, I don't know, like a lot was going on. So yeah, Jason got up and cut the cord and all that. I didn't see any of that, of course, because I was still laid out, cut open, and he said it looked really nasty. Like, when he looked at what they were doing, he said it looked disgusting. So next we went into like this little room, and I couldn't even hold her like just yet because I was still shaking so bad and like so hard that I couldn't even hold her. So I don't know, it was just so crazy that I was just shaking that bad over like I don't know. But so yeah, if you guys ever got the shakes before like your C-section, let me know down below because I never knew that was a thing, but apparently it is. So yeah, so she was born January 5th at 3:32 p.m. and she's over here squirming a little bit. She needs to be asleep, y'all. Like, it's 1:10 in the morning and this girl is still up. Oh my gosh, London, you need to go to sleep. But I did ask you guys to ask me any questions that you had on my community page. So let's check them out and see if I have any questions. So someone said, how's your hair? Any postpartum shedding? I think my hair is okay. I will say that like this is like breaking off, but I feel like that's from like me flat ironing my hair, not from postpartum, because it's only been 2 weeks. So I am still taking my vitamins. I wasn't at first until I posted my last video, and y'all were saying that I should keep on taking them because of that. So I started back taking them. But I don't think my hair has been affected by it. I think that's just from the flat iron. How was your experience with the nurses? Did they treat you well? Yes, my nurses were awesome. The ones I liked the most were Leslie and Jenna. Again, I went to Centera Lee in Norfolk, so they were very, very nice. And I can be a little bit of a drama queen sometimes, so they dealt with me pretty good. Okay, so next I want to ask, did I crave any weird foods? Not really. I feel like during my pregnancy, I kind of like ate what I always ate. I will say towards the end, I did want a lot of sweets, so like cupcakes, candy. But I've always liked candy, but I felt like it was a little heightened, you know. I definitely did like crave sweets a lot, but like as far as like other foods or like weird foods, no. Everything else was like kind of the same as like I've always eaten. Do I plan on going back to work? And how do I feel about my body? So yeah, I do plan on going back to work probably sometime in March, depending on how I'm feeling. And she also asked, how do I feel about my body? It's cool. I mean, my stomach has gone down a lot. It's still not, of course, it's not back to like the way it was, but I mean, who really cares? So I feel okay about it. It's fine. I feel like by summertime, I'll be good. So, someone's asking about C-section. She said she's currently pregnant and she's so nervous. Her whole family has had C-sections and she's nervous that she'll have one too. What should she expect? I kind of already explained that. And how long did your pain last after the healing process? Well, I'm still in the healing process because it's only been 2 weeks, but I will say it's definitely gotten better. In the beginning, when I first came home, it was rough. Like, it hurt really bad. It's terrible. Honestly, my experience with a C-section, like the healing process, is terrible. I feel like my right side hurts more than my left side. And when I say I feel like it hurts more, like it burns. It's not infected or anything, but like after a shower, like it really burns and it's a killer. Trying to go to the bathroom is terrible because they had me on like ibuprofen and Percocet, and Percocet makes you constipated. And oh my God, London. Okay, hold on. I was taking stool softener too, but after the hospital, I stopped taking the Percocet because I really felt like I didn't need it. Like, I was in pain, but I didn't need that, basically. And I knew I wanted to use the bathroom. I would say I used the bathroom for the first time, I don't know exactly when, but it was a couple days after I left the hospital. And it was rough. It was really rough, and only a little bit came out. I'm sorry if I'm being, like, too honest, but, I mean, it's the truth. So, only a little bit came out, and it really hurt like hell. So, using the bathroom. So, yeah, it was really rough. Even peeing, I was able to pee in the hospital, of course, but it does hurt. I think because of having a catheter in, so that's a little painful. But like doing number 2 is painful. So be prepared for that. Healing process, I have gotten better. I'm still hurting, but it's not as bad as it was. Okay, the next one is how much does she weigh? So London weighed 6 pounds and 6 ounces. And right now, she is 6 pounds and 12 ounces. Oh my gosh. Okay, the next one is, since giving birth, had her and the cats gotten along, and how does it feel to be a mommy? Well, it feels great to be a mom. As far as the cats, so I don't know if you guys knew, but I had 2 cats, Smokey and Eddie. And I had to give Smokey up because the first night that we brought the baby home, I couldn't do it. Like, she was crying. Okay, imagine this. So imagine you have a newborn crying at the top of her lungs, and then you hear a cat outside your door crying too. I thought I was gonna go crazy. The decision that night that Smokey had to go. So me and Jason already knew that Smokey wasn't gonna be a good cat for the baby because Smokey's first instinct is to scratch you. Like, he's kind of like a bad cat. Like, I don't know, he's always the one to start fights with Eddie. You guys probably see Eddie's tail. Like, okay, there's Eddie. Eddie, please don't mess with the tree. Okay, well, that's Eddie. That's the one that we kept. He's actually like the good cat, but right now he's acting up too. But yeah, we have to get rid of Smokey because he just wasn't gonna be a good fit for her. Like, he would have really scratched her up. And honestly, Smokey's annoying. Just being honest, I loved him, but I could not have 2 cats and a baby. So Smokey is gone, Eddie's still here, and that's just that. The next one is, were you pressured to breastfeed? I've heard several stories of women feeling like nurses made them feel inadequate for choosing the latter. I wouldn't say the nurses made me feel pressured to breastfeed. More so like friends. Not friends, but like, you know how you just have like a conversation with someone, they're like, oh, are you going to breastfeed? I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're just like, what? Like, why not? And I'm like, girl, because I don't want to. Like, honestly, I don't really have like a legit reason. I just knew I didn't want to. And I think that's fine. Like, I shouldn't have to really explain myself. But no, I just feel like I shouldn't really have to explain myself on why I don't want to breastfeed or why I'm not breastfeeding. It's just, I don't know. Like, I really didn't have like a specific reason. I just didn't want to, honestly. All right, so last question that I'm going to answer. Says, congratulations. Has anyone asked you yet when's the next baby? Oh yes, the nerve. Nobody's really asked me that, but if you're asking me, no time soon. Honestly, I would be okay with just her, but I know Jason wants like 2 kids, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm good with just her. Like, I never really wanted a lot of kids anyway, if any. So me just having her, I'm okay with that. But we'll see. What happens in the future. If I was to have another child, it would definitely be like years from now. Like, I would not have them back to back. I know it's good to have them back to back, but yeah, I don't know if I could like really handle having 2 small children. That's just me. So yeah, if I was to have like another child, it would probably be like years on the road. But you never know. Anything can happen. So yeah, I think that was the last question I'm going to answer. All the rest are kind of like saying the same thing for the most part. So yeah, I'll probably come back with an update in like some months down the road of like how I'm feeling and just like different things I've learned and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to get back to you. And I will see you guys in my next one.